on the IG platform. Hello. Okay, hello, YouTube. My gosh. Y'all, today this is too funny. Um, okay, hello everybody. This is funny. I actually hit the go live button before I was ready to go live. So, okay, awkward. Awkward. So what's up, y'all? What's up? Um, wasn't wasn't quite ready. Wasn't quite ready to be in it, y'all, yet, but glad to see you. And that's what happens when you try and go live on 3 platforms at one time. Some don't work out right? I'm not a professional. I just play one on TV. Okay. So y'all in my background, see, I hadn't just excuse all of this. Excuse y'all over on IG are seeing the top of my background. Y'all over here on YouTube are seeing the side of my background. And y'all on Facebook have a good view. Okay. So I'm sorry. It's just, it is what it is. It is what it is, but I'm here. Okay. Give me 1 second here. Let me see, because this is just not, that's not a good look. Okay, there we go. I think that's better. All right. So hi y'all. I want to talk to you today about, isn't the first time that I'm coming on here live to talk to you about mental health, but I want to talk to you today about mental health because it is a topic that is near and dear to my heart. Okay, very near and dear to my heart. And so that's why this live is entitled, Are You Okay? Mental Health Check. As many of you might know, and I have said many times on lives before, mental health is something that I struggle with myself and have for a long time. And, there used to be like a really big stigma against or regarding mental health. It wasn't something that you talked about. And especially like when I was growing up, here's how it was when I was growing up. Like people were just depressed, right? And they were alcoholics because like it would be too much. Things would be too much. You were not allowed to struggle. You weren't really allowed to talk about it. You had to have this, and I'm just trying to see if that's better for y'all over there. You had to have kind of this perfect, perfect mom, perfect housewife, perfect whatever persona. And man, women were struggling. And it breaks my heart to think about women back in the day. And I'm going to date myself and say back in the day, because I'm just thinking about like when I was growing up and, my mom was struggling with depression. And I know a lot of moms that were struggling with depression. And much more so than now, there was the pressure to be a certain way and to project this certain image. And men were much less in tune to their wives, I'm going to say in general, back in the day, because now women do not have, and I won't interject my opinion in this, but now women don't have such strict societal expectations of what they do in a household as they did back in the day. And so your husband just kind of expected you to do certain things, to show up in a certain way back in the day. And to have your stuff together. Like, his attitude was, I'm going to work every day. If you're at home, I expect you to take care of certain things. Or even if you're a working mom back then, and I'm talking about when I was young, okay? I'm talking about when I was young, 48 years old. you were still expected to do it all, like it all. And so women who couldn't do it all or were struggling to do it all or whatever, they didn't really have an outlet. There wasn't the internet. There weren't groups, that you could join on the internet and find your people or get support. So that was really hard for women back then. They didn't have the groups. And because everybody had this facade of, I'm perfect, I'm doing great, I'm a great mom, I'm, doing good at my job, or, whatever, I'm a great wife. Because everybody had this facade, um, there just wasn't support for women back then. And so women would be on antidepressants and drunk all the time. Uh, because, there was just there was no release, and there was no release, and there was nobody that was having a conversation about mental health. Nobody was talking about mental health. Nobody was talking about, are you okay? Women weren't even talking about that amongst themselves. So it was real hard back in the day. And my heart goes out to so many of the mamas that I knew growing up that, you'd be like, where's your mom? Oh, she's in bed. Women would literally just stay to their bed for months, because there was there was no outlet. And so we are very fortunate, I will say, to be in a place and time, at least, okay, and I'm going to preface this right now, where at least the conversation is happening about mental health. At least there's that conversation. And also where at least there are groups and places that you can talk about it. But, and this is the big but, I will say, but even though everybody, it seems like, is talking about mental health, nothing is really, and am I alone in feeling this way, that nothing is really getting done, right? There's a lot of talking about it, but nothing's really getting done. And this is why I wanted to talk again about it today, because number one, I'm very sensitive to the topic of mental health. I just came out of 4 years of depression. And one of the reasons that I am on Facebook, I was talking to my husband about how I'm struggling as a content creator. And my husband said, you've been a content creator for years and years and years. He said, you've been doing lives way before doing lives was a thing. You've been putting content out and everything. And I said, yeah, but I wasn't really consistently in front of people online like this, and I said, and it's real hard for me. And oh, Insta, we got a problem. I need to charge, and my charger is not going to reach to you guys. This is a problem. But anyway, I was saying, it's hard for me to put myself in front of people on a consistent basis, and to talk and to share my experiences and what I'm feeling and everything. It's hard, and it's very taxing. It's very tiring. It's very exhausting. It's very scary. There's like all these feelings that I have when I go live, even though y'all probably see me. I go live, I'll talk for an hour, and you're like, oh, she don't have a problem. But I really do. And I do it anyway. I do it scared because there's so many people. Hi, Joy. There's so many. Let me read what you said. Okay, growing up in bed. Yes. In bed, yeah. And you would be sent out to play. That's right. Thank God, the Lord, that there were not the number of pedophiles, right, that there are out now, because we was all out there in the streets, because your mom could not handle it. Like she just couldn't handle it. Moms could not handle it. And, even though we're talking so much about mental health now, it's just like we're talking about it, but there's still either a stigma, or there's a lack of support, or there's a lack of belief, or there's a lack of something, because people are committing suicide right and left. I was going through reels yesterday on Facebook, and a reel popped up, and I don't know It must not have been a reel. It had to have been a live. I don't know what it was, a video or something. But anyway, it was on Facebook or YouTube, and it was legitimately this man, this black man. Oh my goodness, he did this live. He shot him. He shot his girlfriend, and then he shot himself. But before he shot himself, he started talking about how everything he was going through and the pressures, and how, his girlfriend had been messing with his mind, and he said, I can't take it. He said, and there's, he's talking about there's not support out here for us. He said, people are out here and their mental health is not okay, and there's not support out here for us. And I'm not saying at all whatsoever it's okay that he shot his girlfriend. But what I'm trying to say is my heart did go out to him in that moment where he was just saying, there's not support out here for us. And there isn't, like, people who are going through mental hardships. There's not support out here. People talk about it and it's like popular topic of the week or whatever, mental health, whoop-de whoop-de whoop. But it is isolating. And believe it or not, no matter how many people are going through mental health, it just doesn't seem like there are people out there who are willing to hear about it. It's like you can't go up to somebody and say to them, I'm struggling. Like, look at me. I'm not kidding. I'm struggling. I'm not okay. And I'm talking about friends, family, whoever. People just, they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it, or they don't know how to deal with it. What are you saying, Joy? Let's see. It's denial. People are afraid to talk about because others often can't understand the feeling. Some people can't understand it until they have experienced it. I really agree. I really do agree. I think, I don't know if it's because people can't understand until they've experienced it, or it's still a taboo topic that's just popular to speak about in general. But people are out here committing suicide every day. And I'm talking about the women that you see on social media that have the nice homes and they have it all together and they've got 4 kids and they've got a good husband and all of this, and they're committing suicide seemingly out of the blue. Let me tell you something. All these people that are committing suicide right now, it is not out of the blue. It is after they have tried, they have worked, they have struggled, they have cried, they have prayed, they have done everything. They have done everything. People don't just commit suicide. It is their last ditch effort because they can't find joy in anything. They cannot find the joy in anything. They are without hope. So I want to ask you all, first off, how are you all doing? How are you all doing? Because if nobody has said that to you and meant it, okay, I'm saying it to you and I mean it. How are you doing? Because that is always a concern of mine. It is always a concern of mine how all of you out there are doing. How are you coping? How is it going? What's going on with you? Give me 1 second. Facebook and YouTube, I got to plug in. Try and plug in Instagram here. So I'm sorry that you're staring at my shirt for 1 quick second because I need to see if I can charge this phone. Yay! I'm charging. Okay, so I'm not going to lose you, Insta. Okay, so thank you. But I want you to know always that I care. You can always, and I say this cautiously because when I tell people you can message me, then like I get thousands and thousands of it, and I don't have time. And unfortunately, I can't. I can just say that I'm praying for all of you. Because I can only take the weight of so much on me, because I'm trying to balance my own mental health, okay, on a daily basis. So I can only handle so much, but I am praying for all of you because it is hard out there. Things are hard. It is hard, especially for us ladies, for those of us who are moms, for those of us where there's pressures on us. There are expectations. It seems like every other person is posting about how fabulous they're doing and how they've got the whole work-life balance mom thing figured out. And then some of us can feel like failures sometimes, right? We can feel like, oh wow, I don't have it all worked out. I don't live in a 5,000 square foot house. I don't have beautifully crafted charcuterie boards and dinners figured out and all that. And you can sometimes start to feel like a failure, like you're not enough. And I want to let you know that you are enough, no matter who you are, where you are in life, what your house looks like. You are enough. Don't let anybody make you feel like what your best effort is at this time, the way you're showing up right now at this time, is not good enough. You're showing up at the best you can show up as. Okay. So I want to talk about a couple things that I like to try and do. And let me just say, God is so good because um, where I am personally right now, I need continual, like a child. You know, I'm coming out of, like I said, a four-year depression, 4 years of depression, and I'm like a child. I need continual encouragement. Like I need, like I literally need continual encouragement all day long, every day, to get through my day. I really do, without falling into, oh my gosh, feelings of worthlessness or lack of accomplishment or whatever. And so God is so good. You know, I was saying to God today, this morning, got up, and I think morning is the hardest time for me personally. Morning is the hardest time where, like during the day, if I can get into the day, uh, I can be doing well, once I kind of get into my day. But morning is the hardest time for me where I'm like, why should I get up? Why do I want to get up? Nobody cares. I'm on social media. Nobody listens to me. I'm not affecting anybody's life. Why am I doing this? These are all the things that the devil attacks me with when I wake up in the morning. And, and then I think about my older kids and I'm like, yes, and I work so hard to raise them this way, and they're going this way, and just all these things. The devil just attacks me with all these things. And so anyway, woke up this morning and I was kind of feeling that way. And then I went on Facebook, thank the Lord for him waking me up and me seeing another day, because it feels also, you suffer with feelings, at least for me, of selfishness. Like there's so many people who did not see today, who wanted to see today, who died of cancer, who were taken in accidents, and here I am. I have today, and I'm not feeling grateful for it. So you feel feelings of guilt, right? With that. And but anyway, I went on Facebook and I saw some stuff that I had done that other people were talking about on Facebook. And it just gave me encouragement. It gave me encouragement. Like sometimes we just feel like we're so insignificant, right? Like our life is insignificant. What we do is insignificant. Who we are is insignificant. And sometimes we just need a reminder that we do matter. Being a mom can be a very thankless job, depending on what age your children are at. When your children are very little, you are their world. You are everything to them. And so it's a pretty satisfying job when your kids are little. When your kids get older, they don't want to be bothered with you and they don't want to listen to you. So then it becomes a very thankless job. Everything that you do is thankless because they don't care and they don't appreciate it. And it's hard. It's hard to be a good mom and show up every day when you've got kids that really, for the most part. And I'm not saying the kids are bad. I'm saying this is, that's how they are at that age. They are kind of like, stay over there, mom, and I'm doing my thing over here. And it's not as fulfilling a role as it was when they were little itty bitty. And so, and then our husbands, depending on, I can't speak for everybody's husband, but I think there's phasematic, husband's appreciation of everything that you do. Sometimes I think, because they're men, they don't appreciate all of the little things that we do and go through. Um, and that's natural. But it's tough out there, right? It is tough out there. Y'all, I encourage you to find your tribe and your people. And even with your tribe and your people, we still see a lot of people who are committing suicide, people that we look at and we think, oh my goodness, this person had money. This person had a nice house. They had a nice car. They had a good husband. They had beautiful kids. They were traveling, and then bam, all of a sudden they commit suicide. So I want you to know that whatever you are struggling with, you're not alone. You are not alone. There are thousands and thousands of women out there just like you who are going through the same exact thing. What is Joy right here? You can have a huge following in the moment there is a tragedy. When you think others will step up is when they disappear. Yes, yes, ma'am. Being okay with yourself alone is the most important part of healing that you can do. Yes, I agree. 100% Joy. At the end of the day, you have to learn how to love yourself, right? At the end of the day, it sounds corny, but self love, and it took me years to understand this, years to understand that self love is the most important type of love that you have. You have to love yourself. You have to learn how to accept yourself and love yourself. And you have to learn how to say to yourself, it's okay. You have to learn how to forgive yourself for mistakes that you make. You have to learn how to tell yourself, it's okay. It's okay that I'm not as skinny as I want to be. It is okay that I am not the housekeeper that I want to be. I used to spend so much time beating myself up over what I wasn't, not working on to improve the things that I wasn't, but just beating myself, like being consumed with beating myself up with what I wasn't, that it would paralyze me. Um, and I'm telling you, I tell you guys this all the time. I had to learn how to just calm down and breathe and say, it's okay that this didn't work out, or it's okay that I'm not this yet. And I'm going to work on it one thing at a time, one thing at a time, one thing at a time. One of the things, if you are depressed, that I encourage you to do, get out there and talk to people. If you suffer from depression, wake up. The first thing you do on the way to the bathroom to brush your teeth and go to the bathroom in the morning, open up all of your windows. Let that sun in. Go stand out in front of your front door or on your back patio or whatever, and let the sun hit you for a couple minutes in the morning. Okay, sunlight is so important to our balance and well-being. Um, and just know that, what do I also always say? Whatever season you are in right now is not the season that you're going to stay in. It is that. It is but a season, and it's not going to last forever. Okay, whatever it is that you're going through, it is a season. And I want to remind you as well, and this is something that I felt for those 4 years, I felt powerless over, but it's crazy because I wasn't powerless. Um, I felt powerless over who I was, like my level of who I was. Like I felt like I'm trapped. I can't be anything else. I can't go anywhere. I can't do anything. I don't know how to describe it, but I felt like I was powerless to change who I was. I would read about women saying, I left my husband, or I left I did this, and I became a different person and I changed my life. And now, we're living in the house by just me and the kids and we're this and that. Or they would just up and make changes, major life changes. And I felt like I can't do that. Like, I wish I could be, how can I describe it? I wished that I could change who I was, but I felt trapped. I felt trapped by who people saw me as, who I was, who my kids saw me as, um, and what my husband expected from me. I just want to let you know that here's the deal. When you live up to other people's expectations, you may be keeping them comfortable and keeping them happy because you are playing the role in the part that they expect you to. But I really believe that that has a lot to do with why people commit suicide because they aren't happy, but they don't know how to break out of how people see them and what people expect from them. They don't know how to tell people, you know what, if they're young, mom, dad, I don't want to really go to college to be an engineer, or to tell their husband, you know what, I'm really not happy. I don't like the way our marriage looks. Or to tell their kids, you know what, y'all make me miserable because you don't listen and you don't respect me. I think people are afraid to uh, speak their needs, to speak their needs, and to make their needs known and to give importance to their needs. Okay, I think a lot of people feel like, who am I to make people respect what I feel I need? And a lot of times people will try and sit somebody down and tell them what they're going through or what they need that is close to them. And that person will just be like, what are you talking about? What is going on with you? You know, and it'll scare them off, and they'll see this person who I care for and supposed to care for me doesn't understand me, and they won't reach out again, and then more hopelessness sets in, and then more depression, and then that leads to suicide. So I want you to think about, here's some things I want you to work on. Okay, these are some things I want you to work on. I want you, and I'm sorry, y'all, my blood sugar is skyrocketing and it's making me very, 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 very thirsty. And I got to take 1 second out here. Okay, it's going down. I was going to say I got to increase my insulin. But I do need to drink some water because sorry, my blood sugar was skyrocketing. I had to drink some insulin because it makes you thirsty. So I want you, couple things I want you to work on, okay? If you're struggling from depression, unhappiness, low self-esteem, okay? Here's some things we're going to work on. We're going to work on these together. Okay, so the first thing I want you to work on is I want you to start journaling. I want you to start journaling. Let me tell you, if you are not journaling every day, and it doesn't have to be something big and long, right? Does not. I just need you to jot down the most important feelings you had for the day. And whatever it is, be real with yourself. This is your journal, so be real with yourself. It could be, did not have energy to wash the dishes. so disgusted. That can be it. It can be as short or as long as you want it to be. But I want you to start journaling every single day. Record, and this is very important and very therapeutic. You'll see why. We'll talk about why later. But I want you to start journaling and record everything that you're feeling, or at least the overwhelming thought that you had for the day. Okay? Your overwhelming thought that you had for the day. Jot it down. Okay? So journaling is the first thing. Okay, number 2, we're going to work on, and you know what? I'm gonna jot this down myself. Okay, so I can remember what I told y'all to jot down. Okay, how about that? And if y'all, I'm not going to show you my board full of sticky notes. Okay, so journaling, right? Journaling. And number 2, I'm going to give it to you. Number 2 is we're going to work on letting go of limiting beliefs. So I'll say that again. We're going to work on letting go of limiting beliefs. So a limiting belief can be something like, I'm not good at. Stop saying that. Remember what we talked about in our live the other day, that your brain is a supercomputer. Your brain is a supercomputer. Your mouth is the programmer. Okay, so what you program into this supercomputer is what you're going to get out of this supercomputer. So if you speak things, if you program things into your brain like, I'm not good at math, you're not going to be good at math and finances and handling your own financial business. But if you tell yourself, I am good at math, I am smart, and you read books and you gain knowledge, your supercomputer is going to believe that, and it's going to retain the knowledge of things that you read and you hear about, and you're going to become financially savvy. Okay, that's how it works, people. This is the supercomputer, and it will do, I promise you, whatever you program it to. So the first thing is journaling. The second thing is letting go of limiting beliefs. Let go of them, okay? Because what you tell it is what it believes. So this is why number 3 is so important. Okay, I'm writing these down myself so I can check back up on you guys. Affirmations. That's why affirmations are so important. Okay, affirmations are so important because in order to let go of limiting beliefs, you need to start putting something else into your supercomputer, and that's positive beliefs and positive thoughts. By putting positive beliefs and positive thoughts into your supercomputer, it's going to start to slowly change your mindset. It's going to start to slowly change your mindset. You are going to, and it's hard and it's not going to happen overnight, and you have to be consistent. Don't stop. Don't give up before you exercise consistency in doing it. Okay, that's another problem people have. They listen to people and they say, oh, that didn't work. I tried it. It didn't work. It was no good. Blah, blah, blah. But you only did it for 3 or 4 days, or you only did it for 7 days. Okay, it takes a lot more than that in order to be consistent. Okay, so you need to start having positive affirmations that you speak to yourself. I used to think people were crazy when they said that. I really did. Like, you're crazy. This is some kind of strange new age stuff or whatever. I didn't understand it. But let me tell you, No, I didn't say to people they were crazy. That's what I was thinking though. This is crazy. Like, you really want me to say this kind of stuff to myself? But let me tell you, it is one of the most important things that you can do if you are suffering from depression or low self esteem. One of the most important things is positive affirmations. You get up in the morning, on your way to the bathroom, you open up those windows, you go to the bathroom, you brush your teeth, and then you look at yourself in the mirror, washing your face, and you tell yourself, "Good morning, beautiful. Good morning, beautiful." And you're looking yourself in the face. "Good morning, beautiful. How are you this morning?" "I'm feeling great. Today is going to be a great day. Here are the things I plan on doing. I am a beautiful woman who is capable of multiple things. All possibilities are available to me." So you find the self affirmations that resonate with you. You can find these online. You can buy a book. Okay. There's lots and lots of them. And you find the affirmations that resonate with you, and you put them on a little sticky on your mirror in the bathroom or on your door or wherever it is that you go to in the morning where you know you're going to see them. And you say those. I like the stickies on the mirror because then you're looking at yourself, because I think it's important to look at yourself when you say them. And you say these positive affirmations to you. And because this is a supercomputer and you can program it, if you say it enough times, your supercomputer is going to hardwire it, and it's going to start happening. It is going to become a part of your belief system. What many of us do not understand is it took years for negative thoughts to become a part of our core belief system. And so it's not going to just be turned over to all positive thoughts overnight, but it can happen. And when it does, it is such a powerful thing. I'm going to tell you, this is what gives me the ability to get out of bed in the morning. What gives me the ability to get out of bed in the morning is God, okay? And Him blessing me and me having another day. But I'm talking about what encourages me, what gives me something to look forward to, um, are my come from largely my self affirmations, me telling myself, "I love my children love me." Um, you know, I have a bunch of different ones that I say, um, but it has taught me how to encourage myself. So basically, the thing is, in life, you're not always going to have cheerleaders. And let's say you're a social media content creator. Yeah, you're going to have cheerleaders once you blow up and everybody knows who you are and they love you and they listen to everything you say and they look forward to your words and all that great stuff. But in the meantime, you're not going to have encouragers. It's going to be you looking at your screen, doing a live, seemingly to yourself, right? And so you have to learn how to encourage yourself in all things. Uh, you may be single, you may not have a partner, you may break up with your husband or your boyfriend, you may, whatever it is. We all are going to go through rough times in our life, and we need to learn how to be our own cheerleaders. Okay, we cannot look for positive affirmation outside of anyone but ourselves. And if we get it from other people, that's great. But we have to learn how to have that for ourselves. We have to learn how to be comfortable with our bodies, ladies. We have to learn how to look at ourselves and find that we are beautiful, what we are looking at in the mirror and seeing and finding beauty in that. Okay. Or else you will always be miserable. I see a lot of ladies on social media who have augmented their faces or their bodies, and they had to do that in order sometimes to be happy with themselves. They were not happy with who they were. Now, while personally I don't agree with that, but that's not my business. And if that's what they needed to do to feel better about themselves more power to them. But you need to learn how to love yourself. And you need to learn how to care for yourself. How many of us care for other people and don't spend 5 minutes caring for ourselves? How many of us wake up with a concern for other people, go to sleep with a concern for someone else, but don't have a concern for ourselves? Okay. And so you have to learn, and this can be hard, especially if you're a mama. This was really hard for me to learn how to care about myself without feeling selfish, without feeling like, oh, that is so selfish for me to. But then, you know what? Because I didn't spend any time caring for myself, it took me a long time to figure out, well, gosh, that's why my mental health is so bad. Because I don't care about myself. I don't make time for myself. I don't value myself. And no, that isn't selfish. That's called self preservation. Because if I'm not taking care of myself and valuing myself, then I don't have anything to give to my kids. I don't have anything to give to my husband. I'm empty. I'm empty. And emptiness is not the way that you cannot continue to wake up and show up every day empty. And that's where people get to, where they just feel numb. They feel raw. They don't care because they're empty inside and nothing brings them joy. How many times have you heard that from somebody who has written a suicide note or be right before they've committed suicide? I feel empty. I feel numb. Nothing brings me joy. Okay, so we need to make sure we don't get to that point. And part of making sure that we don't get to that point is making sure that we pour into ourselves. So, ladies, you need to take time to take those bubble baths. You need to take time to get your hair and nails done. Um, take that time for that beauty, whatever routine it may be at home or at the spa or wherever. Take time for that. Take time to buy yourself. Let me tell you something, y'all. I'm going to do a live either later today or tomorrow on clothes that I found at Walmart. Child, I ain't never shopped in Walmart before, but Walmart has some cute, cheap summer clothes. And I bought a couple things, you know, and I hadn't bought clothes. Let me tell you, just starting this year or at the end of last year, I started buying clothes. I hadn't bought clothes in years. And now I'm buying clothes again. But my point is, that's a little something that I do for myself. Okay, I chose to do for myself. Take time and do a little something for yourself. Okay. Um, whatever it might be, whatever it might be. It might just be making a hot pot of tea and then sitting with a book that is a self-help book, okay, and reading that and taking 30 minutes a day to do that. Pour into yourself. Pour into yourself. It is not selfish to take care of yourself. Now, yes, there are women out there who take it definitely to a selfish level. But what I am saying is all of us need to pour into ourselves, make time for ourselves, and realize that we are special, that we are worthy, that we need the same things that we give other people, right? We need those same things and we need to give them to ourselves so we can stay mentally healthy, so we can keep this supercomputer running without bugs. And that's what I like to call them, bugs. When the supercomputer starts telling you you're not worthy, you're not special, you can't get anything done right, you don't know how to this or that, that's a bug has gotten up into your supercomputer. And you got to get rid of those bugs. You got to get rid of those bugs because those bugs, right? What do we know about supercomputer? What do we know about computers? If you get a bug in your supercomputer, it can take your computer out, right? It can take your computer out where you no longer are controlling your computer, where it has been corrupted, right? Where it's been corrupted and it's no longer any good. So we have to make sure, we have to safeguard against those bugs getting into our supercomputers. And let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. A lot of us have gone through some hard things that other people don't understand, and that other people may never understand, or they may never value. Um, and you have to tell, one of the things you tell yourself is, I am so strong. I am so strong. I have been through so much. I have overcome so much. I am a warrior. Because the devil's going to tell you what? You're weak. All these things like that, right? But you have to be able to tell yourself, no, I am strong, because you're a fighter. Because the very fact that you are still here on this earth, that you are still fighting, that you still have a desire to wake up in the morning, no matter how hard things get, you are a fighter. And you tell yourself that in the morning. I am a fighter. I will continue to fight. I will continue to fight. And stop worrying about how other people see you. Because let me tell you, in going through depression, I have promised to do things for people, or promised things, and either have completely forgotten, been overwhelmed, can barely make it through the day. Like, I don't even know, out of compassion and a moment of wanting to, because that's who I am. I want to help. I want to show up for people. But then and that's who I was for years. I was that person. Oh, you could count on Tish was going to drop what was good for her kids. She was going to drop what was good for her. She was going to drop what was good for her husband. And she was going to be there for you. That's who I was for years. And never even occurred to me, sis, how are you going to be there for everybody else when you can't even be there for yourself? When you can't even be there for yourself, if you can't even wash your own dishes, you can't cook your own dinner, you can't clean your own bedroom, but you're going to be there for everybody. Oh, here's a meal train. Oh, so-and-so needs a ride. Oh, can you watch my kids for weeks on end for free and pay for their groceries and their clothes if they need clothes while they're with you? Sure, I can do that. We have to learn how to show up for ourselves. We have to learn how to show up for ourselves. And we have to learn how to be forgiving. We have to learn how to be forgiving. Because sometimes you can't do it all. Sometimes you can't do any of it. You just can't. You have to go into self-preservation mode, and you can't do it. You have to say, hey, I love you. Can't do it. Can't do it. Sometimes you have to tell your kids. Let me tell you, for years, got 5 kids, for years, I was that mom. I was every co-op, every school function, homeschool function, every bake sale or whatever, everything, every lesson, everything. I lived in my car. I actually lived in my car, basically, because I was always going and doing. Years. These are for my grown kids. I'm going to tell you this. Ask me if my kids care. Ask me, A, if they remember. Ask me, B, if they care for everything that I did for them. They don't. So I'm going to tell you something, sis. If you are out there, my brothers, I see you, Brian, my sisters, if you are out there and you are running yourself ragged and you are doing every this and this and that and that and this, you know what? That's great. And if you can, if you have the mental fortitude to do it, my hat is off to you. But most of us don't have the mental fortitude to do it, and we're doing it at the deficit of ourselves. Because I did that for years before I broke down. Years. Until I got to the point one day where I was like, I can't drive one more place. I can't do one more thing. Can't. Like I broke down. So I can tell you that your grown kids aren't going to care. They are not going to care or appreciate that you did every lemonade stand, every brownie sale, every they're not going to, they're not, okay? So when I tell you limit yourself to what you can do in a healthy manner, what you feel you have the energy and capacity to do, limit yourself to that. I mean that, because it's not going to matter um, to them when they grow up if you did every single solitary little thing. Your kids just want your time, right? So as long as you're spending time with them, you're hugging them, you know, you're talking to them, you don't have to do every single solitary lesson that comes into their mind, or, every, you know, just set limits for yourself or you're going to run yourself down. If you got more than one kid, that is some of the best and realest advice I could give you. Set limits for yourself, because I've watched more than one homeschool mama, me included, mentally break down because they're running around feeling like they have to be the perfect mom and do every lesson, every co-op event, or school event if your kids are in school, or whatever that is offered. Okay. It is overwhelming. And let me tell you, people will suck and take and take and take. People will not, people have no boundaries. People have no boundaries. They have no chill in what they ask of you and what they expect of you. They don't. These are facts. So if you do for people, uh they will expect you to do and do and do more. And then they'll have the nerve, no matter how much you've done for them, they will have the nerve to be upset when you stop doing. Okay, so my whole thing now is I'm not going to get involved. I'm not going to start doing. I'm going to pray for you. If you need something, the most effective thing I can do for you, believe it or not, is not do all these different things. It's pray for you. And if I have the financial ability, which I always have done and I always will continue to do, if I have the financial ability, I will financially help you if I have it. But if I don't, I don't. And I'm going to have to pray for you. I used to feel guilty about that sometimes I didn't have the money to send to people who needed money or whatever. And sometimes I did it at the expense of my own family. And that was not being a good steward of my household or my money. But I'm thinking I'm helping this person. Yeah, but then I'm crippling my own household. And I thought, oh, I used to think that was okay. That's not okay. So, you know what, y'all, in conclusion, I could go on and on and on and on. But in conclusion, I'm going to tell you to journal every single day. Remember, I said, write down something. Okay. And we'll find out, we'll talk about later why that's so important to write down something every single day. We're going to journal. We're going to let go of limiting beliefs about ourselves. We're going to stop telling ourselves, I can't do this. I can't do that. Okay, we're going to let go of those limiting beliefs. All right, let me tell you something. When My oldest daughter, who had, special needs when she was born, the doctors told me she's not going to be able to talk. She's not going to be able to walk. She's not going to be able to this. She's not going to be able to that. She's not ever going to this and that and that and this and that and that and that. Let me tell you, she is fabulous. She's living on her own now. And trust me, she is definitely walking and talking and adulting. Okay, so let go of limiting beliefs. I did not let anyone impose a limiting belief on my child, but yet I let people impose limiting beliefs, and I let myself impose limiting beliefs on myself. Okay, let go of limiting beliefs. Just like you wouldn't let somebody do it for your child, put it on your child. Don't let somebody else or yourself put limiting beliefs on yourself. Let go of those limiting beliefs. All right. Think about what this is the next thing, your negative core beliefs are about yourself. What are your negative core beliefs about yourself? I want you to do this. I'm writing it down. What are your negative core beliefs about yourself? I'm asking you what these are, what your negative core beliefs are about yourself. And it's important because I want you to write them down. And that's the first step to working on them. Okay, so it could be something like, I am fat. Could be a negative core belief about yourself. I am fat. Or a negative core belief about yourself could be, I am ugly. That could be a negative core belief about yourself. Or I am stupid. That could be a negative core belief about yourself. A lot of these negative core beliefs you will find that you have about yourself, if you think and you really focus, a lot of times will go back to your childhood. They will actually be rooted in your childhood. And so I want you to write down what your negative core beliefs are about yourself, because these are the things that you need to have positive affirmations about and start saying positive things about. You know what? People 9 out of 10 times are not lazy. Okay? That's 9 out of 10 times not why they're not getting things done. It's often because maybe they are not well organized. And so they don't get all the things done in a day that they possibly could because they are maybe not good at organizing. Or maybe it's because they're spending so much time helping others that they're not able to do for their own children and themselves. Okay? Um, if you feel that you are fat, if that's one of your negative core beliefs, you need to understand, look at yourself, and first off, you're beautiful. I don't care if or if your negative core belief about yourself is you're ugly. You are beautiful. God made you. He doesn't make mistakes, period, end of story. And you are beautiful. If anybody has ever told you that you are ugly in your life, it is because they have self-confidence issues. They have issues with the way they see themselves, and that's why they told you that you're ugly. You are not ugly. You are beautiful. Now, if you feel like, you are overweight, in fact, and that's something that really does bother you, then you have the ability to start walking around your block every day and losing weight, or joining a gym and losing weight. Okay, there's something that you can do. You can do push-ups or sit-ups or crunches or whatever in your bedroom in the morning or before you go to sleep and start losing weight. You can take little steps, okay, so that you can look differently if that you think that really is going to help you feel better about yourself. You can take little steps to work on yourself that way. Okay, and let's say you think maybe you need a little more, maybe accentuation, or if that's even a word. Okay, I just made a word. Um, or you need maybe a little bit of highlighting. You can put on makeup. I don't think you need to be out here necessarily doing makeup the way some of these ladies professionally do it on Facebook, where you're like, who that? at the end of it. But if you want to start wearing a little bit of makeup and you think that'll make you feel better about yourself, then start wearing a little bit of makeup. Learn how to do makeup. There's tons of people doing makeup on Facebook, and YouTube and all that. You can learn how to do it, that you can use that to help make you feel a little bit more confident and secure about yourself right now, maybe, until you have that confidence and security in here in your heart, okay, naturally. So what are your negative core beliefs about yourself? You need to figure out what they are, write them down, and then tackle them, okay? If you feel like you are not good in an area, like maybe math, right? Then I encourage you to work on simple math. Take a basic math course, and strengthen your math skills, your basic math skills. If you don't feel you're good at math, you're probably not an accountant. And so you probably don't need to go back to college and do trigonometry, but you might want to take a basic math course. Just to strengthen your skills. Okay, so I want you to work on targeting what are your negative core beliefs. Target what your negative core beliefs are, and then work on addressing them, because this is what's going to help you gain self-confidence, right? Work on addressing them so that you can gain self-confidence. Okay, so then I want you to think of, got another one for you. We're almost done here. Got another one for you. What are, and I'm going to do another live, and I'm going to start off with these. Okay, so I'll do another live in a day or so, and I'll start off with these. Okay, what are some people's opinion? All right, I'm writing these down so that I can bring this back up in another live with you. What are some people's opinions of you? What are some people's opinions of you? And why do they have power over you? You're going to hear me say this a lot in lives. I'm going to ask you why you care about other people's opinions. Are they paying your bills? Are they an active part of your life? Are they helping you every day with your children? Are they putting food on your table? Are they putting clothes on you and your children's backs? And I'm asking this legitimately, because I want to understand, what are people's opinions of you and why do you care? If you ask me legitimately right now, what are some people's opinions of me, I'm not going to be able to tell you. I have no idea what people are thinking about me right now. I don't know, because I don't care. It's not in my purview. It's not in my purview. But a lot of people are limited by what people's opinions of them are. And so this is something that you've got to work to break free from and of. Because let me tell you, people are always going to have an opinion of you, and it's always going to be negative in most cases. In most cases, it's going to be a negative opinion. They're going to throw negativity at you, especially, baby, if you are on social media. They are going to hate on you. They are going to give you negative opinions and thoughts, and they're going to say mean things to you. And, oh, you're fat, or, oh, you're ugly, or, like, let me give you an example. My hand is not huge, okay? But for whatever reason, when I put my hand up here, and a lot of times my hand is like close to the camera, my hand can look ginormous on camera. And so I've had people seem to be obsessed with my hand and make hand comments or whatever. Like, I care, baby. Like, I care. Okay. People, people don't make comments. People make comments all the time. It should not matter. This should not be a part. Like, I'm not concerned. Like, you are not a part of my world. You're not paying my bills. You are not a part of my household. You are not one of my children. Why are these things, concerning me? They're not. So I want you to think about people's negative, um, their opinions about you and why um, their opinions are having power over you. Why are you giving somebody's opinion of you power over you? Because I promise you that is contributing to your feelings of lack of self-worth and negativity. Okay, so we want to work on people's opinions of us allowing them to have power over us. Okay. And it's coming from somewhere. It's coming from somewhere that their opinions bother you. Okay. And I want you to think about, are their opinions in some kind of way stopping you from becoming who you want to be? Are they feeding into your feelings of insecurity? Okay, so we're going to write that down. Insecurity. Okay, and I just want you to think about that because I really believe in my heart that we can stop a lot of mental health issues and a lot of depression and a lot of negative feelings that people have toward themselves that spiral out of control eventually if we start addressing some basic issues and we work on some basic techniques and tips. Okay, so it starts with, from journaling, getting out your feelings, how you feel, what you're going through, your emotions. And let me tell you, whatever emotions you're having are justified, because if they're yours, they're justified. They're important. Okay, I want you to know that because sometimes people feel like, oh, my emotions and the way I feel are not important. I'm not important. You are important. You're special. Your emotions and your feelings are justified. Journal them, talk about it. Okay, then we're going to talk about limiting beliefs. What are the limiting beliefs that you have about yourself? What are they? That you're ugly, that you're fat, that you maybe can never find a good husband, that you can never make over $50,000 a year. What are the negative limiting beliefs that you have about yourself? Okay, you need to identify them first so we can disprove them and let go of them. All right, what are your negative core beliefs? Right, you're okay. So your affirmations, saying your affirmations, getting in the mirror and saying your affirmations to yourself every single day, extremely important so we can reprogram this supercomputer, correct? Okay, negative core beliefs about yourself. What are they? Identify them. What are some people's opinions uh, that they have of you, and why do you give them power? Why do you give those opinions power? Let me tell you, when people say negative, hateful things to you or about you, it is because they are jealous. It is because they are unhappy and they want everyone around them to be just as unhappy as they are. Okay. It's important. You got to realize it. You got to remember it. And you cannot fall for that. Okay. That's just a trick of the enemy. It's a trick of the devil. You cannot fall for that. All right. And lastly, insecurity. What are your insecurities? Were you abandoned by a parent when you were younger? And so you have insecurity issues that you suffer with of abandonment? Um, were you hungry when you were a child? Was there a lack of food? And so you struggle with insecurity issues of there not being enough food. I have to make this money. I have to work and work and work myself into the ground, maybe, so that I can always make sure there's plenty of money for food for my family. so that my kids never have to go hungry again like I did, so that I never have to go hungry again like I did. Maybe that's one of your insecurities. Okay, I don't know. But whatever they are, whatever your insecurities might be, you need to identify them and then you need to address them. Where does this insecurity come from? And then you need to address it head on. Okay? Um, you need to start working on addressing it. And a good way to do that is through positive affirmations. Okay, so I hope this was helpful. Mental health check, like I said, we are all struggling to a certain amount and a certain degree out there. Whether it's we're trying to fake it till we make it, whether we're struggling with the way people see us versus maybe the way things really are or who we really are. There can be several things that you could be struggling with right now, but I encourage all of you, you got to find your strength, and it isn't necessarily easy. Okay, it's not necessarily easy, but you do have to find your strength. Um, and you got to work on, you have to find your strength. You have to work on yourself. Um, Y'all, my lips are dry, so you have to forgive me. Okay. Find your strength, work on yourself, um, being the best version of you that you can be, being authentic, and being okay with if you're not putting out the image that you feel people necessarily want to see. That is okay. It is okay. I encourage you to show up every day as yourself because you can keep that up and you can maintain that. What you can't necessarily maintain is projecting a certain image that is not representative of who you actually are. Okay. Love yourself. Love yourself. You got to love yourself first. If you don't love yourself, people are going to find it very hard to love you. If you don't love yourself, people are going to find it very hard to love you. Okay? All right, but I love you. I'm praying for all of you out there. I'm praying for your mental health. I'm praying for, let me tell you, whenever I'm on a live, you can always feel free to come on my live and talk about your mental health if it's not in a good state, and we can pray together, or we can talk about tips and techniques on how to work on your mental health. I'm always here in that capacity for you if I can be. So thank you for joining me for this live, and take care of yourself. I will be doing this week, I'll be doing a Walmart haul. I'm going to be doing a live where y'all are going to put on nails with me, these fake nails that I ordered during the pandemic. And they're crazy. They're all decorated and pretty and everything. And you supposedly just, what do you call it? Sand down. I don't know. Sand down your fingers and fingernails and apply these nails. So we're going to see how they work. So trying to do a couple fun lives this week. Like I said, I love you and take care of yourselves. And thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye, everybody. And we're going to start with, here we go. Take care.